Welcome to this week's episode of the Digital Advisor Weekly. We are live casting, and if you are an independent advisor or life insurance agent, sales agent, real estate agent, it doesn't matter, but you feel like you're struggling to build your personal brand online, you're not alone. 76% of consumers choose to work with someone they trust who have a strong brand over companies that do not. And have you ever wondered why? Have you ever Googled yourself to see what other people's perception of you or your company might be? To check out what your presence is online, I'd encourage you to do so. But we're going to cover all of it. And if you're struggling, we're going to show you some solutions that are easy to implement, simple 3-step process. So stick around to the end. I've got a free content plan that can help you create a strategy that will generate leads more quickly. And make sure that you like and share if you want to see more of this kind of content on digital marketing for advisors and sales agents.
Welcome to the Digital Advisor Weekly broadcast. Looking to boost your business with the latest trends, innovative tech, and must-have resources? Join us to discover how to successfully scale your practice and automate the process. Here to guide you is your host, the dynamic leader of Advisor Marketing Hub and managing partner at American Financial, Rob Souza.
Rob Souza here, and I am super excited about today's topic. It's a carryover from last week. So we had a power hour last week on our live cast. And so if you haven't had a chance to go back and watch it, I encourage you to do so because it ties into what we're going to be talking about today, which is the frequency of making sure that you use social media to make sure that you are everywhere with the right brand that's authentic to you. And it will build trust and generate leads and increase conversions. So today, we're going to be talking about the most common branding problems on digital marketing for advisors and agents. Talking about the 3 key branding success strategies and a simple framework that you can use. So we're even going to have a giveaway at the end so that you can have all of this in writing and an easy step-by-step guide to follow. Before we get started, though, I'm going to share a quick story. A financial advisor that I worked with last year, very common experience where a financial advisor is working for a larger organization as an employee and then decides that they want to become independent. And they leave, and the first thing they do, because they're independent and they don't have support staff or a marketing department or a marketing director, is they reach out to what we call an FMO or IMO, a financial marketing organization, a broker dealer, somewhere where they feel like they can get the support they need to become an independent advisor. The challenge is a lot of these broker dealers have a website, and I'm going to try and not mention any names. They have a website that represents the national brand of that financial marketing organization or broker dealer, and they limit your ability because of compliance to be able to build your own brand while you are attached to and working with their brand. Maybe they'll give you a profile on their website, or they'll give you a 1-page website that they incorporate or link to from their website. But then it becomes very difficult for people to find you. You take some of the national broker dealers, I'm trying really hard not to mention names. And, if they have over 1,000 advisors and they search the company name, likelihood is they're not going to find you. They're just going to find a list of names, and they'll probably just choose the one that is most convenient to them. And so it's very hard to succeed in digital marketing if you don't have your own personal brand, even if it's just your own name. So we're going to talk about that today. But that particular advisor, his broker dealer that he signed with, absolutely sabotages his ability to go independent because they would not allow him to build that personal brand. And eventually, after about 6 months, he chose to make a switch to a company that allowed him to build his personal brand. And now he's making more money and has built a bigger business than he ever imagined 2 years later. So it speaks to the value of building personal brand to get people to like, know, and trust you, not the company or organization that you work with, but to trust you if you are their advisor or sales agent. So we're going to fix that today, and we're going to talk about the solutions in just a moment, but we're going to check out.
Whether you realize it or not, you have a personal brand. If I looked you up on Google and didn't find anything about you on the first page of results, that's your personal brand. If I found an out-of-date LinkedIn profile or a bunch of random social media posts, that too is your personal brand. People tend to think about a personal brand as bragging, self-promotion, and all about yourself. But it's actually something much more important. It's your reputation. In other words, it's how people perceive you. Your friends, colleagues, or the general public. And it's what people think about you when they hear your name, as well as what people say about you when you're not in the room. In our connected world, every single one of us has a personal brand, whether we like it or not. This is because whenever we engage with people both in person and online, that's every interaction or everything we post, upload, or comment on, we're creating a reputational narrative about ourselves. Your reputation is already out there. The question is, do you want to be the one who's driving and shaping this story, or do you want chance or algorithms to be doing it for you? I think most people would agree that they want to take control. And what this means is we need to make some very intentional decisions so our brand stays in our hands.
Yes, that's right. Today is about taking your brand into your own hands and making sure that you pay attention to 3 very, very important elements. But let's first start with the problem, and then we'll get to the solution. The most common problem that most of our advisors and sales agents have is that there is no clear brand. And again, if you want to make a brand really, really clear, I always say start with your name. Because often if you're independent, people are working with you individually. So you need someone to develop a trust, like, know, and trust relationship with you individually as the agent or advisor. So it's important that no matter what company you're associated with, you have to build your own personal brand. And also you want to pay attention to the company brand as well. Don't associate with a company that struggles to have a strong brand, or you're going to sabotage yourself. And then number 2, as far as the 3 most common problems, would be inconsistent content, or none at all, which is so often. And when I mean inconsistent content, I mean you'll post something here and something there, but it's not on a consistent regiment at which you're testing the different types of content that resonates with your audience. Last week, we talked about if you only get 1 or 2 likes, no comments, you need to pivot from that content. You need to try something different, but you need to be consistent. Consistency is way more important than anything else, because even if people don't like it, at least people can find you. Now, if you can be consistent and have good content, now you're going to win and start attracting people. The last one is low credibility in a competitive market. We're going to talk about that in just a second, and I'm going to show you some examples of that. And there's a lot of ways that you can sabotage your credibility. One, not having any reviews, not having a LinkedIn page or a Facebook business page, or not having profiles on the 6 major channels. Even if you don't necessarily communicate or build an audience on platforms like X or TikTok, I'm telling you, it's absolutely critical that you push content out that on both those platforms, because it's about visibility. It's just going to make you more visible in the search engines. People perceive that the more social media accounts that you have, you must be more credible if you have more social posts, more social accounts, and more places at which people can find you, which also includes guest blogging and being a part of different organizations and associations that link back to you. The more mass in the search results that people find your brand, the easier it is for them to find you. And then quality content with a brand that's credible is the second step to attracting people. So yes, they got to find you. And then 2, you have to serve them up the right content to get them interested in deciding to work with you rather than the other people they find online. Okay. So we're going to take a look here really quickly. So I'm going to screen share. Nope, that's not the right one. This is the right one. Okay. And let's take a look really quickly. Foundry. We're gonna compare 2 different. I think this is this Foundry? No, that's Pathway. Okay. And this is we were looking at competitive market. You know what? I'm going to hold off on this for a second because in the next segment, I'm going to go through about 4 or 5 samples, but it is about visibility. Are you showing up in the business search listings when people search for your company? Are you showing up in the search engines? When people just search for a financial advisor, are you showing? So here's a financial advisor Los Angeles. So even if I go back to just the regular search results, are you showing up on page 1, page 2? Some of our advisors aren't even showing up on page 10. That's a problem because obviously if they can't find you in the first couple pages, then they're going to give up and they're going to click on someone else. So it's super important to make sure that you're visible and that people can find you. So before we move on, if you would put in the chat, what would your clients find if they searched your name right now? Are you confident? What percentage of page 1 results does your business, your personal business, not the associated business or broker dealer or FMO, your personal brand, what percentage of page 1 do you dominate? Please put that in the comments because we're going to address that issue and fix that problem today. And it's a challenging one because it's a highly competitive market. All right. So let's take a look at this next video as we get into our next example.
People buy from people. A head of product made a boring video that had 70 freaking views on LinkedIn, but he was wearing a Bears t-shirt and somebody bought their SaaS product because they're a Bears fan too, because people buy from people. Yeah. If you do it, really do it, it becomes what I am. You become a practitioner of marketing. The biggest issue for corporate executives is they're living in ivory towers. The reason we're so unstoppable is because I, the CEO of the company, am in the craft. In the craft, meaning this is me literally writing the copy to a post at 11 o'clock this morning. So what really gets great about building a personal brand in social is if you're the practitioner of it, you actually learn skills by building your personal brand that you can deploy against the logo.
Yeah.
All right. And so Gary Vee, I don't know if you guys heard the feedback that I did. I apologize, but he's one of my favorite marketing coaches. Well, and that's probably because he has millions and millions of followers across probably 10 different platforms. And so check out his channel on YouTube. It's a shout out to Gary Vee. Looks like we have a question. Amanda from Charlotte. What if I don't have client success stories to share yet? Good point. Well, you have to solicit them. And what I mean by soliciting them is anytime anybody says anything good about you whatsoever, I don't care if it's a family member, somebody in the community, it's a client you just worked with, somebody you just did a review for, you've got to get in the habit of saying, would you do me a favor? And I'm going to send you an invite to do a review either from Facebook or Yelp or LinkedIn or Google. The most valuable is Google. Would you do me a favor and just repeat what you just said and give me a fair rating? That would help me tremendously. So don't get into any of these fake reviews because those will get weeded out by Google and Yelp. You want genuine reviews, but you just have to be thinking of the mindset as people compliment you. Always pivot to asking for the review to share that exact story. Great question, Amanda. Okay, so now we're going to talk about framework and how to fix it. Before I do that, I'm going to kind of circle back to the 2 companies that I was going to talk about, which is just comparing, like here I did a search for financial advisors in the Los Angeles area, and I found Trilogy Financial. And then I think the other one that I found, which was Foundry and Trilogy. I see Trilogy, and they're found the top two. Okay. So if we go to Google and I type in either one of those, let's do Foundry. Okay. So Foundry Financial Los Angeles. So the question is, yeah, okay. So they've got a personal, they have a Google My Business, and you can see there they are. That's them. That's them. That's them. Doesn't look like that's from Foundry, but that is, and that is. So they're dominating. Nope, that's Kevin's. So it is. They have 100% of page one. Foundry, you get an A+. Now, it's, again, often, I'm not here to out any companies. It's just that they may be in the process of working on this. Let's try Trilogy now. So if we go over here and we do Trilogy, so it's actually Trilogy Financial. Okay, so now I have no, okay, so if I choose my area, let's go Los Angeles and make sure it's fair, right? So let's do, that's okay. I'll do this. I'll go comma Los Angeles. If you're not in your local area when you do the search, make sure that you change it. Okay, so they do have a personal app, very good. 1, 2, Trilogy. They're in MapQuest, they're in Yelp, their advisors' names are coming up. Okay, so another A+. So I just wanted to show you kind of two examples of Googling yourself and trying to get an idea of how you show up in Google. All right, so we're gonna go back to our list here. We're gonna talk about the 3 things you gotta pay attention to. So in the framework, we talk about visibility, credibility, and consistency. Let's start with visibility. I just showed you that, but I want to show you one of the most impressive ones that I've come across online. Again, it came from LinkedIn. It was in the #1 page on LinkedIn, the most followers on LinkedIn, the most social posts on LinkedIn, and her name is Dr. Erin Mack. And you can see, I could go on and on, but I'm going to have you, for the sake of saving time, she dominates 4 straight pages of Google results, and also comes up in the top 10 results on every major social platform. So, and these, again, I'm using the example of all financial advisors in the Los Angeles area, and she's dominating the search results if you look for her. So visibility, can people find you? Obviously, this is a good result. Now, if I had put Los Angeles in here, she has a Google My Business local ad as well, but I'm going to save you the time and we'll skip that. But let's look at number 2, credibility. So once they get to finding you, the question is what's the impression that they get? And again, we talked about the more platforms you're on, the more credible. If you publish articles into multiple publications, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, or CNN, Market Watch, Yahoo Money. There are even companies out there that will help you. You have to pay them a fee. They'll help you get published in a lot of these publications, but then those publications will come up. And you can see Crunchbase, which she's putting in articles. You can post articles on LinkedIn. You'll get a separate result than your actual profile. The org, National Department of, I don't think that's her. Okay, Achievers. So she got an award from True America. So guest podcasting, sharing content, sending out press releases, being on local news, all of that will get you more and more results. The more results you have, the easier it is to find you, and the more credibility it gives you. However, you need to back that up with the impression you give in the content you provide and the website. And so we're going to look at 2 examples of that. Okay. So, and again, they may be working on this, so I'm not criticizing any individual, but that's professional. But what does this do to make the viewer believe that you are different, you're more credible, and that you're going to do a better job than your competition versus, because there's nothing here that tells me why I should choose them, what problems they solve, why they're better at it. And then let's compare that to Sky Tower. So significantly stronger presence, obviously very specific. He works with blue collar owners, solving the specific problem of taxation and reducing taxation to free up cash flow. So much more impressive in the branding, and this would be much more compelling to me than something very vanilla like this here. So we're all working on trying to, how do we stand out from the crowd, but make sure that your brand is on point. It's consistent throughout all of your platforms and your social media, which leads us into number 3, consistency. Are you showing up regularly? And it's not just about, I did a bunch of really great quality posts and a great podcast. No, are you showing up on an ongoing basis, meaning you're putting out new content, new broadcasts, new podcasts, whatever it is that you do, you're doing it on a daily basis. We try and do it in a week at a time. So we create a topic, and then we create social media to go out on every platform. We send out a press release, post some blog articles on multiple platforms, but it's all from the same topic. And with the use of AI, and I would caution you, I'm talking about a paid ChatGPT Plus account, one at which you can train it to be specific. You feed it all, as much writing and video transcripts as possible, so that the ChatGPT writes 99% authentic to your brand. And that's extremely important. If you don't do that, don't use ChatGPT. Either use ChatGPT for research and then rewrite it, or do ChatGPT Plus and train it to be accurate in representing your brand. But let's take a look at one further example of consistency and the effect that it has. And that is Sherry. Here we go. Okay, so she shows up I don't even have to put in her city. She shows up everywhere. And she's done a great job with her website this is called creating a site map, so that Google can create, but because she created a site map that is compatible with Google, it pushed everything down the page so that she takes up, between her Google local business and her properly formatted website and SEO'd website, she's taking up like 75% of the page with just her website and her Google business listing. But if you go down, these are all videos. Every single video is Cherry. Every single image suggestion is Cherry. She even has her own Wikipedia page. You want your own Wikipedia page? Well, guess what? Wikipedia is free for you to suggest any page you want, and that page can be you. Now, it doesn't hurt that she has 62,000 followers on LinkedIn, but that's through consistency. She's constantly posting. She posts 3 times or more a day. And then she's submitting her information to, she has a YouTube channel. I could go on and on and on, but she's got 3 straight pages of your ability to find her just about everywhere. And so when you can come up with a strategy that can dominate like that, and you're doing it consistently to make you visible, and the branding's on point to make you credible, you've got it. That's the strategy. So let's take a look at this next video, and then we're going to talk about the formula on how to create content.
The term branding, people use it interchangeably with logo design, identity design, or even sometimes typography. And maybe we need to set the record straight. I know you're the best person to tell us, what is branding, Marty?
Yeah, so let's start with what branding isn't.
Okay.
It's because it's not a lot of things people say it is. It's not a logo.
Okay.
A logo is a very useful tool for a business, but it's not the brand. It's a symbol for the brand. A brand is not a product. So when people talk about this brand, buying this brand or that brand, they're really talking about buying one product or another product. The brand is not that. None of those things are really what branding is. A brand is a result. It's a customer's gut feeling about a product, a service, or a company. So a brand is like a reputation, right? So it's your business reputation, and everyone's going to be a little bit different about what that reputation is.
All right. And another great coach, by the way. And next broadcast, I'll put plugs of exactly who they are and where you can find them on YouTube, because these, I've learned so much from the video clips that you're seeing, and we only include them because they were so influential on us. But let's jump into the content strategy. Oh, Sheila has a question. So what are some common mistakes people make when trying to establish online credibility and how they can avoid them? I would say the biggest mistake is people try to cheat. What do I mean by cheat? I mean like calling 10 of your friends and asking them to put good reviews on Google for you, or taking somebody else's content and trying to repurpose it, trying to take somebody like somebody's blog post and use it as your own, or use ChatGPT without training it first. Don't cut corners. Do it right and do it authentically. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so we're going to talk about the 3-post formula. I try and make sure that you cover the 3-post formula once a week. Now, in a perfect world, if you really want to dominate and supercharge your results, do it once a day on every single platform. So what are the main 6 platforms I think every advisor should be on? Whether you build an audience or not, doesn't matter. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, and X, used to be Twitter. And I would post at least the next 3 things once a week. And if you really want to up your game and dominate, I do it every day. And the 3 types of posts are: 1, educational posts. So now this is an easy one, and I don't need to go into it because you guys do this all the time. You're used to teaching all the strategies about financial planning. So that's easy. Okay. But make sure it's brand specific to you. Your brand needs to be known for solving specific problems, not just retirement income. Okay. Number 2 is create a post with personal insight by sharing a story. Storytelling is the most powerful way that you can communicate online, and it's the most memorable way to communicate with your audience. So tap into a story, and the more real and genuine the story, the more memorable to you, the more memorable it'll be to them. And you can teach through storytelling. Make it relatable to your audience so that they can see themselves in the story, and you'll win. And then 3, client success. My favorite way to do this is to put a tripod behind the client so that all you see is the client's back of the head, but you can see the advisor. And when you do that, then you can actually let them tell their story, or you can just, soon as you're finished with a great meeting, get your phone out, put it on a selfie stick, or lean it up against the wall, put it in your car on a clip, and repeat the takeaways from how impactful the meeting that you just had with the client really was and how appreciative they were. Those are the stories that you want to put online. You don't want to put all of the same kind of content. If 95% of the content you put on is educational, people are going to get bored. People go to social media for entertainment more than they go for education. Depends on the platform, but most people, like YouTube, they'll go to YouTube for kind of your educational stuff needs to be more dominant to, like YouTube, LinkedIn. But all the other platforms, they want to escape entertainment. Stories are entertainment. And so it's a great way to make it enjoyable to learn something new. Okay. Remember too, also, when you create these 3 posts, you can use AI to take the same 3 posts and then optimize them for each individual platform, because the way that you post on TikTok is not the way you should be posting on YouTube or LinkedIn. They're entirely different. And you can take the 3 posts and then repurpose them the next day. Like, you just slightly change them, change the graphic, a few words here and there, post it again. Post it again every single day on every single platform, just slightly tweak it. And now you just increased your content online 5x without having to create any new ideas or concepts. So 3 posts, get 3 main posts per week in educational, personal, and client success. Okay. And clients are doing this consistently. They really are flipping the script from chasing leads to having leads inquire for information from them. It's attracting leads instead of chasing leads. So which of these would feel most comfortable posting this week? If you had to pick from the 3, educational, personal, story, or client success, do me a favor and put in the chat, which of the 3 is most comfortable for you? And I encourage you to start with that. And a long journey always starts with a first step. Let's check out this next video.
You create trust as a brand and business owner. First, be consistent, not only in the way that you show up and how you add value, but be consistent in your word. Identify your values, and no matter what, show up consistently in reflection of those values. People will look for reasons to not trust you, and if you're being consistent, that's going to help them get over that hurdle so much faster. Number 2, be transparent. There is a lot of mistrust in the industry, especially with AI taking over and doing a lot of client-facing communication. Always be transparent in how you're using AI, but also be transparent in what you're creating and doing behind the scenes. So every single month we send out an email offering a sneak peek into the Posseverse so that we can make our community feel part of what we're doing and be completely transparent about what we're working on and what we're learning along the way. And then lastly, give control back to your customers. Gone are the days of forcing your customer down a funnel and allowing them only to buy when you say it's okay to buy.
All right. And look like most people are in the comments are saying educational, which is so true. Financial advisors, it's like their safe spot to go to educational. I encourage you that if you want to stand out from your competition, you need to try and do what your competition is not doing. So really consider storytelling, success stories, stories about yourself, and it's an easy win. Kev, okay, good, from Seattle. What type of posts get the most engagement for advisors? I would say, well, it depends what platform. I would say shorter the better. It has to have an entertaining component to it. That can be entertaining, like emotionally moving. It also, or inspirational, or it can be funny, but it has to be entertaining. So you have to wrap everything you do into it being some sort of entertainment. And then it needs to be associated with who you are, your stories, your lifestyle, so that they get to know you and your brand. So figure out things in your life you value most, and you want to create entertainment around that. And then you can use that entertainment to create the education, and you'll get the most amount of engagement. And always offer value. So a call to action where you say, okay, if you want to take what I shared today and you want to apply it to your business, feel free to click on the link. You can go here, you can get this, and keep giving. Be a giver on the internet, and that will get engagement. Because when people feel like you're answering comments all the time and that you're giving away stuff all the time and you're not asking for anything in return and you're not selling on the internet, people then, their fear of, see, people don't want to engage because they think you're going to sell them. So stop selling online, just give away value, engage with people. And when you do that, people will put their guard down and they'll start to feel comfortable to engage and believe that you're genuine about wanting to help people. Okay. So live Q&A. Are there any remaining comments that you feel like are Christos or one of our producers? Any other comments that you feel like should be answered before we get into the recap and wrap up? See if there are any additional questions. Josh from Asheville, how often do I really need to post content to see results? So I'm going to circle back and say I personally would post once a day on minimum, once a day on every platform. But if you really want to see results, you're going to flip the script and have people chasing you when you get to 3 a day on every platform. So there's the minimum, maximum. Okay, any other questions that we have? Looking at how do I get started if I hate writing? ChatGPT. Use ChatGPT Plus. Train it with who you are by uploading a bunch of your content that you've written. What if I don't have success stories yet? You always have success stories. And if you don't have them, then there's coworkers, employees, organizations you work with that do have them. You can share other people's stories. You can say, oh, I saw on the internet the other day a financial investor that tried doing this and it totally flopped. And then they realized the hard way that that was a really bad idea. That's sharing as, and then they tried this other idea that you promote and they had success. It doesn't need to be your client. It just needs to be edification of what problems you solve and what you teach. And you can see we've used videos in between segments with other coaches who are reinforcing the ideas that we're sharing with you today. Okay, so any others? Brian, Boston. Is it okay to reuse the same content across platforms? And great question. Yes, but you need to use AI to reformat it because different formats, algorithms on each of the 6 platforms are entirely different. So don't do the exact content, just reformat the content. You can do that by going ChatGPT Plus, put in the original post and say, can you please reformat this post for these 6 platforms? And it will give you you could even say, give me 3 different variations of reformatted content for all 6 platforms. And it'll give it all to you in 60 seconds. Just make sure you train ChatGPT. All right. Do you need to be on every platform? I would encourage you to be on every platform. Just like you saw, you want to dominate page 1, 2, 3, 4. And every time somebody looks for you, they can't help but run into you again and again and again. Yes, you need to be on every platform. It doesn't matter about subscribers anymore, because if you post something on X and you have no subscribers, it doesn't matter. X has so much authority that if somebody searches that topic on the internet, the X post will come up as a result, even though people aren't following you. What you posted is showing up in the search engines. It's also showing it up to ChatGPT so that if somebody says, is there a financial advisor who specializes in reducing taxes? And you've posted a bunch on X about that topic, the internet will start serving up your posts. ChatGPT will see that you have 30 posts on that topic and suggest you as the solution for them to reach out to and contact. Okay, so if you have further questions, I will answer. I'll stay around and answer those questions after today's broadcast. So let's watch our last video and then I'll do a quick recap and we'll wrap up today's live.
Everybody has a personal brand. That means every time you post, you're putting something out there and you're telling people how they should think about you. Personal brands really started development in the emergence of social media all around the world. Now, regardless who you are, every time you post, you're putting it out there, not for today, forever. So really think about what you're trying to say. Even when you're having fun, that post is going to be seen by everybody that's interested in you.
That's exactly right. See, we're trying to get you seen based on the content you post. And it doesn't matter about subscribers anymore, especially on platforms like Instagram and TikTok. The algorithm will serve up whatever the person's interests are, and you don't have to have any subscribers or followers for the algorithm to suggest your content. So don't worry about subscribers. Just post the content that matters most to you using the 3 steps. Focus on visibility, credibility, and consistency. And choose 1 topic per week and do an educational, a personal story, and a client story. So that's it. That's as simple as a strategy can be. Do it at least once a week on every channel, all 6 channels. All of that's listed in the guide. If you can do it every day, even better. it to be done for you, hire a virtual assistant, and it's extremely affordable for them to be able to post every day, 3 posts a day, all 6 platforms, and you could spend less than probably $100 a week. Best investment you'd ever make in your company, your brand. All right. So wrap up, quick story. I had, when the COVID hit, just like the rest of you, we just got hammered because more than half of our marketing was live workshops. So when COVID hit, it was devastating to my own family's personal financial advisory company. And so I had a mentor that was already transitioned into digital marketing before the pandemic and had been telling me how great he was doing on LinkedIn. And he was posting every single day and commenting. And he was spending like 2-3 hours a day on LinkedIn. Now, I know you don't need to spend 2-3 hours a day on LinkedIn. But back then, we didn't have AI and we didn't have as much automation. And because I didn't have any other choice, now I had a bunch of extra time because I wasn't having to do live events. I decided to try his strategy. And I'm just going to share a quick. Here we go. So that's my calendar from January 25th, 2021. You can see it in the image. That's how many appointments, all the little sliver appointments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 appointments inbound from LinkedIn. Introductory calls by simply I just went massive on LinkedIn. I was posting 3 to 5 times a day, varied up my content, visibility, credibility, consistency by just flooding my social media and then making sure that I engaged, making sure that I answered questions. Don't let people comment and then not comment back, or you'll find that you're going to get stuck in the abyss of nobody ever commenting on your content. If you're going to post, either use AI and have a VA help you keep up on comments, or you're going to end up with a reputation that you don't care about what people think. Very important. Now, people say, I don't have time for this. I'm not a marketer. Yeah, but you're a salesman. And so you have to get in front of as many people as possible. And there's no more efficient way to do that than to do it digitally online. Because once it's up, it stays there forever. And you're just adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. You go to an event where you're shaking hands and grabbing business cards. When the event is done, what you have in your hand is done. That's it. You got 10 cards. That's it. Period. The effect of what you did that night may have taken you 2-3 hours. You got those 10 people, and that's it. You'll never get any further value from that other than the 10 cards you picked up. Digitally, it will stay forever and keep recycling itself and picking up more leads and engagement. All right. So I'm going to get rid of the calendar. Now, that was the pandemic where I could spend a lot more time than I can spend now. But I encourage you, leverage technology and virtual assistants. All right. So let me know in the comments let's see. Yeah, we already did it. So I'm not even going to, I want to know how frequently how frequently you'd like to post, how many channels, and how frequently do you think you could post, and put that in the chat. People want to see what other people are willing to do. You know why? Because they want to do more. Because if 90% of you are willing to do once a week on 6 channels, all they have to do is be on, how frequently do you post? All you have to do is post more frequently than your competition. If 90% of them are posting once a week, all you got to do is post twice a week. And you'll stand out from the crowd. It's really easy. That's why we share comments so that we can collaborate with advisors across the country. All right. If you want the 3-post formula and prompt guide, you can comment in the comment post. Is that what we're doing? Okay, below, and we will send it to you, or we will put the link We will put the link in a comment after today's show is over, or you can comment, quote, post, P-O-S-T, and we will make sure that we personally send you the guide. Okay, bonus offer. If you want me to build a ChatGPT tool, like for instance, help you train your ChatGPT Plus that can create content for you, 99% authentic to you, you can book a 15-minute strategy call. And in 15 minutes, I can help you build a custom ChatGPT Plus account that'll help you create content 99% authentic. No strings attached. We're just here to help. We want to see more people succeed in our industry. All right. And remember, you don't need to be everywhere at once to build a powerful brand. With just a few intentional posts each week, educational, personal storytelling, and a client story, you're not chasing leads. You're trying to attract them. That's what the strategy, the whole purpose of this strategy. And if you're like me, years and years of chasing leads, I was burned out and I was ready to flip the script. Now let's help you flip that script. Each post is a silent handshake, a moment of trust before the first conversation, and a way to say, I see you, before they ever reach out. So you're not replacing relationships online. You're paving the path to building them. So let your digital presence speak for itself, because it's speaking for you and your brand. So you can focus on what truly matters, which is your talent of guiding clients towards financial clarity and peace of mind and legacy. And don't forget, join us next week to learn how to create timely content in order to stay relevant in today's competitive market. Until next time, keep it genuine, tell your story, stay visible, and we'll see you in the digital world.